What's poppin', Team Dink? I just got done working for the day. Now I'm at a pond. I'm just gonna try to catch a couple bass before the sun goes down. As you've been seeing in my recent videos, I've been doing a lot of finesse fishing recently, a lot of Ned rig fishing, and then I'm really trying to experiment a little bit as well. Today I'm gonna start with a 1/32 ounce mule jig with a TRD TicklerZ rigged backwards. This is like a Ned rig, but it's super finesse. It's probably gonna have a super slow rate of fall, so it's honestly gonna be great for pond fishing. So enough yipping and yapping, let's start casting and blasting, let's go. So here's my little creation. It's really finesse. This is even smaller than your traditional Ned rig. A Ned rig's usually around 3 inches. I think this is only about 2.5 inches when it's all said and done, and then it's a 1/32 ounce jig, whereas most Ned rigs are about 1/16. Definitely what I would consider ultra finesse. So I wanted to rig it backwards because it makes the bait just a little bit shorter, but it adds bulk towards the front of it. So it's a lot more of just a smaller bulbous profile. So it's just gonna be a super easy meal for these bass. And right now, I doubt if they're gonna wanna work too hard just because their metabolism is probably slowing down a good bit. But as we look at it right here, you can really see how those tentacles would create a lot of drag in the water. So as it starts to fall, those are gonna spread out, and it's really going to slow that fall down even more. It's only a 1/32 ounce jig, so it's going to be slow regardless. So that thing, when I look at it in the shallow water, it's like this. Like, I'm talking that slow. I know several folks that really like that slow rate of fall because they fish a lot of shallow water. Well, this is going to be an interesting rig for that, I think. There he is. What is this? Is that a slab crappie? Oh my gosh, didn't expect this. First fish is like a nice slab up here in the shallows. Man, that's what happens when you use this like ultralight type stuff. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a nice slab right there. I will take that bonus slab any day of the week. Let's go. It's the first slab crappie I've caught out of this pond. All right, well, multi-species rig, let's go. That fish, I just saw my line start moving. Never felt a bite. And of course he bit it on the fall. And like I say when I'm Ned rig fishing, it's super important that you watch your line constantly for that exact reason. You're gonna hear me talk about ultra finesse a lot moving forward. And really when I say ultra finesse, I'm really talking about taking a traditional finesse tactic and almost marrying it up with an ultralight tactic. So, you know, 1/32 ounce mule jig is really an ultralight jig, and you're taking a Ned rig and actually downsizing it a little bit. And you can call this a micro Ned rig, you can call this whatever you want, but basically we're in between ultralight and finesse, and I'm going to call it ultra finesse. And I think that stuff like this is going to become more and more popular in the future as more and more fishermen pressure bodies of water. Going even smaller is going to be such a great way of catching multi-species and catching lots of fish. That's a theory I have. I could be totally wrong. I'm really going to be experimenting a lot with really ultra finesse tactics. Small drop shots, split shot rigs, small mule jigs with different types of plastics, so on and so forth. How I've been retrieving it is basically cast it, let it sink for a long time, shake the slack real light. I'm really not trying to do a ton of that bait, I just want it to dance a little bit. Then I'll pop it up once or twice just to get it to where it can fall again. Very similar almost to like a wacky rig, really focusing in primarily on the fall. Oh, yellow perch is biting at it. Oh, there, he got it. Oh, I missed him. There's a yellow perch down there, super interested in this, but he didn't mouth it all the way. He just bit the body. Oh, this is interesting. Haven't got a bass bite yet, but I've got a crappie and a yellow perch. There he is. That's a largemouth. Little tiny dink. He is cold. He popped that and swam so fast. See you, buddy. Hate to throw him like that, but I'm like 15 foot above the water right now. Oh, there was one chasing it. There's one right there. Come get it. I know you're gonna. We're gonna get this fish. There he is. Oh, dadgummit. I couldn't get a good hook set because I'm like 12 feet above that fish. A decent little bass. I don't know why I didn't set the hook. I was just like, huh! I was trying to set the hook like, you know, strip setting and fly fishing. The good news is, oh, there he is. That's a crappie, I think. Yes, it is. All right. So back-to-back casts we got bit. The first one was a bass. He was about 13, 14 inches. And then we got this crappie to come eat. It's right next to a shallow brush pile, so it makes total sense that he's here. Pretty cool. I'm thinking these crappie really like that slow rate of fall. Sorry to throw you, buddy, but I gotta. Oh, actually, that was a great toss. You know, he went in nose first. We're good. What I was going to say is I'm super pumped that I actually triggered the bite from that bass. Even though I completely botched the hook set, it's promising in the sense that that bass was nose down on it a second ago, and I pulled it away from him, and I got it back in there, and I was able to tempt him to eat it just by having a little bit of patience and trusting the fact that this thing is it's just too juicy. It has a nice slow rate of fall. It's such an easy meal. They're absolutely not going to say no. You just got to give them a chance. I declare this the stand-in stump. I'm going to stand on this this here stump. Great stump for standing. Man, the key, my friends, has just been making short casts and just watching that line like a hawk. Speaking of hawks, I guarantee my camera didn't pick up on it earlier, but I turned around earlier and a hawk was just chasing this little sparrow or something through a neighborhood. He like almost ran into the side of a house. It was insane. It was incredible. I love birds of prey. They're so fun to watch when they're hunting and stuff. It's always neat to encounter stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I knew it. I knew I felt something. What is this? Another little dinky bass. I mean, you're gonna have that, right? When you're fishing tiny stuff, you're gonna have a lot of fish like this. But I also know with certainty that a small bait like this is gonna be able to make a big fish react as well. Regardless, I'll take little dinky because on a work day with an hour and a half to fish, I will take any fish I can get. You already know that. There's fish. What's this gonna be? What's this gonna be? It's a bass. It's a bass. No! I should have definitely landed that bass, but I tried to horse him in right over that tree there. And if I would have just let him play out a little bit, it would have been fine. The sun is right there. Probably only about 30 minutes from sunset. There's a fish. I knew he'd get one right here. It's a bunch more wood in the water here. A little bit bigger than the other dinks I've caught, but still a dink. Dinkalicious. Man, he's cold. That definitely explains why the fishing has been relatively slow. Fish is so cold. It's getting to that point where it's like bass are just hard to catch, but I think that utilizing these finesse tactics is just so critical. Look at that, man. He's got a, it's healed now, but he used to have a crazy wound right here. Probably from a bird or who knows what. Otherwise, he looks fine. All right, buddy, I appreciate you. I'm gonna name you Ricky. See you, Ricky. Okay. There's a fish. Oh my dinky goodness. I never told you that Ultra Finesse was gonna catch me a giant today, but at least it's getting bites. And this little guy would have been a lot more fun on my ultralight with 2-pound test. Still a good time. I'm gonna name this one Randall. All right, Randall, we'll see you later, buddy. Okay, Dink City, come on. I guarantee this thing will catch a big fish. I just don't think I put it in front of a big fish yet. Now that fish, I don't even feel the bite at all. My line was just moving really, really slightly, so I'm just like, bloop. Well, unfortunately, that sun went down fast and I ran out of time, but I gotta say, I still think this bait right here is super promising. And more importantly than that, I think the total concept of ultra finesse fishing is going to be something that I totally do some more experimenting with, and I think it's gonna wreck bass. You know, today I just had such limited time and I was fishing a really cold, pressured pond, so not exactly a great conditions. I still think there's probably some big ones in here that I could catch, but I just needed a little bit more time. It is what it is. Overall, I'm thankful, and check this out. Sunset. Beautiful sunset. I love it. Anyways, the sunset's beautiful. The weather has been super great. The fish that I caught were freezing cold, so I have a feeling a lot of the bass in this particular body of water are pretty well shut down for a while. Daylight savings time has absolutely cramped my style. My fishing days are shorter, and it stinks. I'm not a fan of daylight savings time in the fall. I love it in the spring. I hate it in the fall. Okay, I promise I'm finally done rambling at you. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.